Your 8-minute question and answer period will now begin. How do you measure the long-term impact your projects have on beneficiaries?
Starting with our project umbrella Empowerize, we measure our long-term project successes primarily with the number of entrepreneurs impacted, as well as the total amount of social enterprise either started or supported. We do this through different metrics such as revenue, whether they are a social enterprise looking to divert waste or create different products. We also do this through education gained. If the education they've received from our programming helped them get a grant or learned a new business skill and they were able to adapt and use that skill to further their business or their own careers. That is some of the ways we do that with Empowerize. So that covers all of our entrepreneurship projects. With the Chill Zone, this has been a struggle to measure the long-term success of mental health programming, as we like to keep our information private and confidential just for the trust of our participants. One way we've found to measure this is if they are recurring participants, and that is kept confidentially by our own team there. So we can see if it was working enough to see them come back for another session of mental health programming. And we actually view the same way with financial literacy as well. With our Money Mondays project, we saw that we had several participants come back for recurring sessions. So this is one way we saw the long-term effects, is that they saw it was beneficial to them to keep coming back to the sessions. And then we followed that up with surveys about how they felt it could be improved, and also what their number one thing that they took from the project.
What surprised you the most as you worked on your projects over the last year?
Surprised, I would say the biggest surprise was the amount of work it took to adapt several of our projects that were very in-person focused and heavy, to try and make that same impact virtually. Was the biggest surprise. Initially, when we had met as a team to talk about our projects, we didn't see the transition to be as difficult as it was. And the biggest surprise was the lack of engagement, just overall with moving from in-person to virtual, and not necessarily lack of engagement, but the ability to get into more to impact more people. We found the impact that we did have was very strong, but to a more limited base. Whereas in person was more of a broad, more people, but maybe not as big of an impact on those larger amounts of people. I'd say that was the biggest surprise we took as a team, was the difficulty of adapting to a virtual and just adapting projects overall.
What is an example of a hurdle you faced because of COVID-19, and how did you overcome it?
One of the hurdles that we have faced with COVID-19 is, as Jaden has previously said, engagement and creating a bigger impact. I think how we overcame this was by focusing on different parts of what we were doing. So rather than looking at the number of people that we were impacting, we were looking at exactly how much we were impacting the limited number of people that we could at this time. So I think that our projects meant a lot this year as far to a limited number of people, but they made a huge impact on those people.
And just to kind of piggyback off that, one of the largest hurdles that we went as a team was we unfortunately lost our faculty advisor. Had moved on, so we had a lot of difficulty moving forward with trying to find a new faculty advisor, which adds a whole bunch of obstacles. But yeah, just finding ways to. We found needs assessments were really handy for helping us move forward from having a large spread of different projects to the ones that would make the most impact. And we feel as a team that we picked the projects that had the largest impacts for our community and who we were trying to help this year.
Explain what tools your team uses to measure impact.
Of course. So some tools we use for the Empowerize entrepreneurship project umbrella is strictly around both Excel for helping with budgeting and revenue generation for the small businesses we work with, but as well, the biggest one would be Shopify and Squarespace, both for the Shopify Basics programming, which we did at Frontenac Secondary School, but also having all the analytical data points in that back end. All those e-commerce tools available help really provide a lot of data and impact available for the people we are working with, the entrepreneurs, and therefore helps us measure the impact that we're having. Measuring different, traffic, how many people are going to the website, how many people are visiting the story aspect of the social enterprise, and how many people are then converting that into a sale. So those are some of the key impacts that we measure from working with our individual entrepreneurs. And then with the chill zone, we primarily just have been using different virtual platforms such as Zoom and Microsoft Teams, as well as our mental health programming guide, which, the most things the tools we use for that are pretty generic. And then same for financial literacy is, just keeping track of different, the amount of people coming in.
How are your projects funded?
Great question. So Empowerize is funded through basically the right now, Empowerize is actually a program umbrella that operates completely to help small business and social enterprise and entrepreneurs at the high school level advance in their careers. And we are looking at expanding that into ways to actually make that a fee for service so we can reach more people in the community and actually make it more of a self-serving revenue generating business aspect of an Access SLC. The Chill Zone is primarily funded from the project accelerators that we've received with the cooperators the past 2 years, last year with the creation of it. And then
Your time has now expired. Thank you, Enactus St. Lawrence College.